Joe from IGN here with more footage from currently kickstarting card game Fable-themed. One of the game's more unfamiliar aspects is the appearance of a full co-op mode, which pits you and a friend against an AI boss with their own bespoke deck. Developers Flaming Fowl walked me through a full match and what beating bosses will get you in return. Here it is.
Okay, so one thing to explain as well with the co-op, you both get the opportunity to pick quests, so you want to sort of look at obviously what you've got in your hand, but you're also then trying to make sure that it partners well. So obviously something that we need to improve, we're still developing, is a bit more visibility on what your partner's doing.
Yeah. So what we do have in, after Craig finishes this, is at the moment it's quite a simple communication system.
Yeah.
So you can ping various cards, or you can give options on how to attack. Again, it's in the first stages of being implemented, so it sort of works, but we actually want to create this system with feedback and work out how people can communicate without speaking.
Yes.
Because that's our goal, is to have a game where you can discuss tactics and come up with plans without ever talking to another person.
Having a stranger shout at you.
Absolutely. Obviously, you can do it with your friends. So
Absolutely.
the difference you can see here is we've now got two hands at the bottom of the screen. So in the bottom right is Craig's hand, and in the bottom left is Sam's hand. Whose turn is it? Is it Sam's? So what Craig can do, Craig can double click on one of Sam's cards and say, actually, you should play that.
Wait a minute, let me see if I can actually think of something that's good.
Huckster. Oh, right then.
Shopkeeper?
So
No.
he just doesn't listen.
Yeah.
So the Shopkeeper's a good co-op card because it allows... He's listened to you, Craig.
Yeah.
So not only does Sam draw a card, but Craig draws a card too.
Okay.
So that card maybe isn't as good in single player, but it's actually better in co-op. So we've got different balance of... every card has a different amount of balance, you know. So some cards you'll go, oh, that's all right. Actually, it's really good in co-op. Actually, it's really good in this event against this boss. Or actually... So, and this is what we're trying to achieve with this game. And this is what I say in the video quite a lot, is there's no best deck.
Right.
What we don't want is people all to build the same deck and just play. And when you boot up the game and you start a match, there's that deck you always see. And you're like, oh, I'm playing that one again. You know, whatever it might be from whichever game you've played, you know, Urzatron in Magic or whatever. Oh, it's Urzatron again. They're playing that again, you know. So we don't want that, which is why we have so many different variations of, is it co-op? Is it single player? Is it in this location? Are you against this boss? Is this event on? And all these things added together means every time you go into a match, you're building a slightly different deck. And everyone's experimenting all the time. And that means every game's different.
Yeah.
And that's what a CCG should be. It shouldn't be about seeing the same decks over and over again. It should be about doing different things. So if you've noticed, Sam played the Shopkeeper, but on Craig's turn, he was able to attack with it.
Okay.
So on your turn, you cast spells, you summon things, then the AI has its turn. So that's Nostro playing a creature, and then it becomes Sam's turn. So now Sam has control over the Shopkeeper. And through that, you're actually able to start comboing between classes.
Okay.
Which is really, really powerful. So you can get some classes, you know, which are really good at summoning loads of creatures, and other classes which do more damage based on the number of creatures you've got. And suddenly your players should really start seeing so many more combinations. Instead of just saying, okay, I'm playing as the Grave Digger, I'm now playing as the Grave Digger with one of 7 other classes on my side.
Well, when you're finding a game with a stranger, say, are you able to choose which decks you're going to end up with? Or?
Yeah, so at the moment, you pick a deck, you find a random stranger.
Right.
What we want to do, and again, this will be through closed beta and everything like that, is we want to work out ways of potentially having a very quick, maybe even a matching system to say, I'm playing this, I would like to play with this, this and this, or something. We need to find out what works best. We need to experiment with it. But if we're a indie studio and we don't have, you know, large amounts of management above us, we can try stuff out.
Yeah.
And we can get it in the dev build, and we can get people playing the dev build. How do you think this works? Is this good? And then once people in the dev build are happy with it, we can get it out into the game, and maybe it's only taken a couple of weeks and we've improved the system. So
you're playing co-op with your own Kickstarter backers.
Yeah, exactly, yeah. So fundamentally, when anyone says, are you going to do this, we can say maybe.
Okay.
So as you can see here, we've got this co-op mode, and the way you waiting for something, Craig?
Some advice.
Some advice.
I'm just wondering, Sam, have you got any magic plans?
Well, the Spike Caster's good now, because you could smash your 2 creatures into that, and then the Spike Caster will summon 2 shambles.
That's what I thought. You see, normally the way we play co-op is the thing that normally I sit and I look at them and I think, I think I'll play that, and then I wait,
to this
and then
large
Mike
exclamation
pings,
mark appears,
and I go, yeah, that is the right thing to do. Good, okay.
So one thing here, if you cursor over the undead chopper, which is the guy with the big axe on the other side, one next to him.
Oh, this guy.
Yep. He's got something called Fearless, and Fearless is there for really, again, our core gamers, right? What Fearless means is that creature will not attack your champion, your hero. It'll attack the creature with the largest health.
Okay.
Right? Or the largest attack, sorry. And with that, you can look at your opponent's creatures, you can read them left to right, and you can determine exactly what they're going to do. Because if they don't have Fearless, they'll attack you.
Okay.
Right? And with that, the AI to write the bosses is actually really simple. So we can actually create a new boss by giving it a different deck. And actually, it can quite quickly, we can create lots and lots of different varied options, right? But the actual techniques of what they do, by just putting Fearless on a creature, means it behaves in a completely different way.
Right.
And therefore, that as a gamer, I can sit there and go, right, so when it's the AI's turn, he's going to do this, he's going to do this, he's going to do this. What do I put in guard? What do I attack with? How much damage do I do to each thing to make sure that when he attacks with everything, I end up in the best position possible?
Right.
And again, that's a really skill-based thing to calculate.
Yeah.
He's not attacking randomly. He's not got a complex AI which is sitting there and making the best possible decision. He has a very good deck, right? And he's drawing cards and instantly playing. As you see, he doesn't have a hand, right? Because if he had a hand, he'd have to be making choices, and the way of making choices for an AI is very, very complicated, and it can go wrong and it can go right. So what actually happens is he looks at the amount of gold he has and then churns through his deck until he finds a card that kind of matches it, or a combination of cards that matches it. And that means he always plays optimally, and he never has a gold left over. He always uses everything he can, which means his ramp of difficulty is balanced exactly how we want it to be, so you get a very consistent game.
It's almost like playing a boss in an action game and doing the pattern recognition.
Exactly,
you kind of you can understand.
Absolutely.
It might be better than you, but you can understand what it's going to do.
You know, when it gets to like 5 gold, he's probably going to start summoning that thing which does 1 damage to him.
Right.
You know, you've got to be. So don't. Okay, maybe let's put a couple of big creatures down instead of a load of small ones, because all the small ones might get blown up. You know, depending on, you'll get used to playing him. It won't always be the same, but he'll get used to it, and that's what we want to do. And again, if we're finding people are just beating it with the same deck, we'll go away, we'll take that boss, we'll tweak his deck, we'll look at ways of beating the way that they're playing it, and then the next version of him will come out.
Yeah, because that seems to be the implication of the main menu, is that the bosses at least are short timed events that kind of roll round. So
everything is timed events.
Yeah.
So be it PvP's timed event, that we're looking is over a longer period.
Yeah.
So maybe that's a month. So people can build a deck at the start of the month and really refine it over that month.
Yeah.
And then it gets moved to a different location. So maybe now they have another month to use a new deck.
Okay.
We don't want to keep changing that deck every week.
Yeah.
The PvP is those people like sticking with a deck.
Yes.
So that is for them. So we're not taking that away from anybody. You know, I'm talked about all these different options, but there are modes where you can sit with the deck, be happy with the deck, and just play with that deck. Then there's the event system, which will come in potentially for a week and say, there you go, here's a new crazy event, this one's gone for a week, have a go at it, and that will mix it up. And then the co-op will be like a fortnight kind of thing.
Give you enough time that you can go through and complete enough of the difficulty.
Yeah, you need enough time for a co-op, because you've got to potentially build 8 decks.
Right, of course.
It's kind of thing I think you can probably move through some of them kind of either matched up with random people, but we want to give you the opportunity to say, okay, Saturday night, we're going to be online at this time, we're going to team up and we're going to do these character classes.
So these guys should find this incredibly easy, because this is easy mode. They're both experienced players. You're experienced, Craig. I didn't say you were good. You're experienced. They're both experienced players, and they've got all the cards in the whole game. Although
that's true,
they're not both playing necessarily the best decks. So, for example, that creature he's just played now, which Craig's about to kill before he can have a look at what it does. When that comes into play, it gets weaker based on the number of enemies in play.
Okay.
So it benefits you playing character classes with more units.
Right.
On easy mode, it's a 6/6. On difficult mode, it's a 12/6.
Oh, wow.
For example. So they're the kind of balance changes that happen. You know, and because it's against an AI, what we found is players don't mind that so much, because you're saying this is hard mode, and when you win on hard mode, you get better rewards. They'll go, actually, I don't mind that creature just being better in this mode. It sort of makes sense. So Craig's.
I'm just going to quickly explain. We completed our quest finally. So Good and Evil on Temple, showing off the different power tiers. So normally she summons a 1/1 unit with Rush that dies at the end of the turn, but you can actually change it so it's actually will then not die at the end of the turn, or you can have one that actually is even stronger then. So it's a 2/1.
If you have more creatures, it gets
you have
stronger.
to have more on the board. So and then obviously the other thing is we both got our reward cards. We both got Necrotic Enforcer, which I'll not play just now. See, learned there. I'll just end my turn.
So the other thing mentioned on our Kickstarter is we're looking at bigger things. So all the things I've talked about so far are the small events, the co-op mode, the PvP league. We're looking at doing big stuff as well. We're looking at taking CCGs in completely new directions. We have some ideas of what that could be. So there's the smaller things we could do. Is like we could do 2v2, right? Do people want 2v2? We don't know. We could do single player mode. We could do a kind of Fable adventure mode, right? Okay. That's something we'd be pretty excited about. But that's quite a lot to do. That's a big thing to do, but we can do it, But we need to know if people want it. We're not just going to make that decision willy-nilly without asking our fans and finding out what people are excited about. We can, in theory, within reason, do pretty much anything.
Okay.
So this is, again, why we want people to come to our forums. This is why we want people to kickstart us, to get involved, to get into those conversations with us, to suggest stuff, and then we can go, that's a great idea. Let's do it. We've done it. It's done really well. You can share our rewards on that. You can have extra stuff in game. You can have unique versions of cards because you've helped us and stuff like that. We want to get people to become members of our community, to become pillars. Like this guy helped with that. He was great, kind of thing. So cool. Yeah, I mean, it's really, really exciting. This is, as I say, this is something. Well, I don't think I've said on this video yet, but this is something I pitched for Fable 2 8 years ago. So we've wanted, a number of us within Lionhead back then have wanted to make a game like this for 8 years. Yeah. Craig's having trouble with playing a creature. Try put it in the middle a bit more.
There's a
bug.
That's need more.
You do
support.
have a lot of cards in your hand there, Craig.
Okay, good. Is that too many? Not enough?
No, kill something. See what happens. That's not going to help.
Just we planned that. We planned that just so that we could show the fact that it's not completely working. There we go. I'll try my champion power. I can do that at least. To the face.
It's looking more and more like we're on the home stretch here.
It does look like we're pretty much there now.
Yeah.
So even things like stun, like obviously that guy in the middle stunned. So again, it's Fable humour, it's chickens.
Yep.
You might have seen earlier Craig threw the boot spell at someone, which is literally throwing a boot into
the boot spell
into the screen and smashing something in the face and doing 1 damage. So
can we get an event that is just boots?
Boots. It's not the most exciting.
Just
who can play the most boots?
Well, every time you play a card.
The boss plays fluffy cats and you throw boots at
Maybe it's Craig. Maybe the boss is
it's just Craig.
Just plays random cards.
Yeah,
just
it's almost like he has no idea what he's doing. Just random cards. Does completely the wrong move.
We could put Bootocalypse. I can't quite say that.
No.
It just fires X random boots into the map.
And so you're talking about creating Fable adventure modes and this stuff that people are going to be really excited about. You know, people miss Fable, and with Legends going the way it did and not having had, a major installment for a while, do you see yourselves as sort of the vanguard for the new push for Fable? Do you see yourselves as the tip of the spear, or is this what you have for now? Like, are you providing what Fable fans want?
I think this is definitely something that Fable fans are going to enjoy. And I think we're definitely very keen to keep giving them new things and new and interesting things, and we have the ability to add new creatures and characters to this game, and therefore to the world of Albion. And I think we can certainly give them that Fable fix that they'll be looking for.
I was going to say Fable fix, actually.
Yeah, it's a good one.
Yeah. Rolls off the tongue. And that, friends, is that. A co-op mode in a digital card game. If that's piqued your interest enough to pay for it, the Fable Fortune Kickstarter campaign is running right now, and it's looking for a cool 250k. Bye!